Alright, fitting a snorkel to a Holden Jackaroo. How to. First we check through all the parts to make sure everything's in the kit that's meant to be there. You might find you got a template. Unfortunately these templates aren't quite correct, so we've got to do something about that. Make sure you got all the bits and pieces in your little bag that you're meant to have. You got your 2 little studs, your washers, all your brackets, all your other bits and pieces that you need. Alright, you're going to need a few tools to put this together, some spanners, some other stuff, specifically a hole saw. This one's only carbon steel, but it will actually cut through the panel, so it'll work alright for us. Alright, we'll start sorting this shit out. Alright, we've got the template sitting on there. I've got my mate Stewie here helping me. He used to work for ARB, so he knows exactly what he's doing, so we're not going to fuck around with anything. We're going to sticky tape this down, and then we'll show you how far out this template is to where it actually should be. We'll get it stuck down. Alright, first things first, we've got to get all the old air cleaner bits out of the way. We're going to pull the air box out. We're going to pull this little ducting piece here out, and there's another piece that is actually up underneath the guard. Up under there, that big plastic thing, you got to get that out of the way. Oh, you also have to pull your inner wheel arch piece out of the way, so get that out of the way first. Oh, a couple of bolts in the bottom there. We're going to need a bloody ratchet for that, aren't we? I forgot to bring the ratchet! Twist it round until that comes out, and up she comes. And we can see how much dirt's still left under there from all the four-wheel driving we've done. Alright, get this bit out of the way. Okay, and there's that one bolt there that you've got to get out to get the internal thing out. Don't know how well you can see this, but in under here, if I get the cap off, there's another bolt right there they hit on us. And we'll get that one out of the way, and then hopefully the ducting will come out nice and easily. One bit of duct covered in dirt and shit. Oh well, that happens. Right, now we just have to mark these holes on here. We'll set some things up. We'll go and Stewie, being an ARB person, has just informed me that I should really block this off somehow. So I'll use my old ARB beanie. That'll keep the dust, the dirt, and any bits of metal and swarf that might go into the inlet out of the way. So there we go. It's all blocked. Cool. Alright, go down the back. For ease of installation, we'll take the main snorkel piece, our 2 little studs, which are Allen key, and you've got to screw them in there. But first I should actually go and see if I can find some Loctite or something to make sure they don't come loose. That could be fun. Alright, when you put these studs in, you want to put a little bit of Loctite or something on them if you've got it. If you're like me and you're a bit cheap and you don't actually have Loctite, bit of the old Plumworks pipe cement. Actually does a really good job of holding these in. You only need a tiny little amount, as you can see. We only had a small bit in there. And all you need is something which is enough to stop these things from coming loose with all the vibrations of your vehicle, being that they're a 4-wheel drive and you're normally running over bumps and lumps and all sorts of rubbish. So I need a little bit on there, not a great deal. It's even easy to do with using a video camera and watching what you're bloody doing. Stick them in there. Get it done up. Go to the other one. Alright, there we go. All done. Now we'll take her out and we'll see how close it is. Jesus Christ. Alright, that's where it's meant to go. Our 2 bolts. God, I can't see. Right, there you go. That one's going to line up. That one's going to line up.
Did not expect that many sparks.
Alright, one item to note. When you set these up, you should actually mount this onto it to get the setting right. and you'll see that the holes don't match very good. As you can see, being a cheap one from eBay, the holes don't actually line up too well, so we're going to do a little bit of modification on it to get this bolted on. We'll be back to you after we do that. That should do the job. Excellent, there we go, they're in. Alright, we're back to being lined up. I don't know if you can sort of see where they're in the centre of them little holes. That one looks as though it's pointing towards the centre. Right, we'll mark this and we'll see. God, it's so hard doing this. Mark that, and then we'll go and mark. Near enough's good enough. Alright, take away, dude. Now you can see our centre is not where they make the hole, but our centre is somewhere about there by the looks of it. It's not too far out, but if you try boring a big hole there, then shoving your snorkel on, it's not going to line up, and you're probably going to get a bit cheesed off with it. Like a friend of mine did, and he got the hammer and bashed the hole open. It fits, doesn't matter. We're in Australia, mate, we don't care. Alright, let's mark these holes. One hole in the centre there. One hole in the centre there. We should hopefully be okay to do this now. We'll drill some holes and we'll see how we lined up. If we didn't line up good enough, I'll just have to rip them open with the angle grinder. Cheap shit saw. You're getting hot. You're getting real hot. Well, when you wear all the teeth off, it stops cutting. Cheap rubbish. When you find out your hole saw's a cheap piece of rubbish and is no good, grab the DeWalt grinder. There we go. Oh, and always remember to use the proper safety gear. Alright, holes are being filed, looking pretty damn good. Everything fits in there nicely for that mount. Now we've got to set up the other mount and put a bit of masking tape on there so we can mark it all out. Grab the texter, put a mark on that side. You're right. A line along the back. This isn't the easiest thing to do, is it? It's close enough. I can't see what I'm looking at. Yeah, can't even get that bit. That should be reasonably good enough. God damn, it's hard to get a picture on this thing. Alright, take it away. So we had line there, line there. Alright, and we'll see how we go once we get it off the bracket.
Not dubbing. Freaking twat.
Shut up. And another little trick for all you guys out there. Got a bit of paint to cover up the bare metal so you don't get rust. Now, if you can't find a little paintbrush, bit of folded up cardboard. Been told it works well, gonna give it a try. We'll see what happens. Wow. Oh. Not as good as a paintbrush, but hey, it works. I don't care. A bit more paint. Yeah, it's not fucking working. We got drips. All right, we'll get rid of them. All right, next item to try. Bit of foam. We'll see how that works. Oh, look at that. Rightio. Beautiful. No one will see because it'll be behind the snorkel. There we go. All we want it to do is to stop rust. Last thing I need is rust. Jesus, don't want rust. Got my daughter here helping me. Gee, she's been a pain in the butt. Watch this. Ah, you're gonna get paint on you. Ah! Alright, get it all lined up. Take your time doing this because you really don't want this thing out of placement. It'll just make everything look stupid. Mark your 2 holes. Then we should be right to drill those. Alright, make sure you choose the right size drill bit for your pop rivet, or else you'll... There we go. Beautiful. That'll work. Alright, now we've got the holes drilled and get this tape out of the way. Very nice. Alright, make sure we don't get water going down there. We're using RTV red, high temp gasket maker. Got to make sure you use the high temp one. Bit of gasket stuff on there. Alright, nice little bead around it. Last thing we need is water getting in there.
How do you sit on your palm?
I'll hold it.
I don't know how you sit on it. Huh? Okay.
There we go. One. That's the other one. Cool. Alright, you got to drill out that little bit for your long black bolt to go through. And we're nearly ready to mount this on. One thing to remember, all these joints, every little place where water might be able to get in there, you put silicone on it to stop all the water getting in there, because that's the last thing you need. Especially if you're like me and you got a diesel, because water will kill your vehicle really fast. And you'll find if you have a ratchet spanner, this is so much easier than trying to use a normal spanner. The only way to do it. Right, another little problem we come across. We've got all this mounted up beautifully. Everything sits on fucking so nicely, it's unbelievable. But when you try and put this piece on, which actually goes up underneath the guard, or the fender, depends on which part of the world you live in, that comes way too far forwards. So we have a bit of a problem that we have to work our way around. This is what you get for buying cheap eBay rubbish. Right, so what we're doing is we're modifying the metal on the inside. Once we modify the metal on the inside, we can't use this little duct piece that they gave us with it because it's just too big. We can't use the original piece, which as you can see, oh, that way you can't see. As you can see this way, it does have an offset on it, but the offset is not enough. So I'm probably going to have to pull out the old plumbing fittings. Plumbing fittings work really well on four-wheel drives. A lot of people use them, a lot of people like them. I've just got to try and work out exactly which one's going to fit to get the gap I need to go in there. But we'll let you know when we get it fitted.